a man done did something to her.
The bear's not gonna.
So men have been.
Men are the most horrible creatures.
Men are the problem.
Men.
Men leave.
Are men trash?
Men or a bear.
It's because a man done did something to her.
The bear's not gonna.
So men have been.
Men are the most horrible creatures.
Men are the problem.
Men.
Men leave.
Are men trash?
Men or a bear.
It's because a man done did something to her.
The bear's not gonna.
So men have been.
Men are the most horrible creatures.
Men are the problem.
Men.
Men leave.
Are men trash?
Men or a bear.
It's because a man done did something to her.
The bear's not gonna.
So men have been.
Men are the most horrible creatures.
Men are the problem.
Men.
Men leave.
Are men trash?
Men or
What's up, guys? What's up? How you guys doing? How you guys doing? So, last week I was trying to do a particular kind of live, right? And YouTube shut me down for it. I'm assuming because I was reacting to, I was watching a video that was copyrighted or whatever. You know, it is what it is. So hopefully I can do a similar style video today. A bit more political, I guess, in nature than usual. You know, men versus women thing. I wanted to do something different today. So because I saw two clips that that just made me want to really watch some videos of it. But like the title is, right? I learned this, I don't know if it's I forgot where the source was, but it said that the person said on the clip was before the 1950s, 1960s, black families were one of the most economically powerful communities or families on the rise or during that time. Only after that, you know, was the destructions of black family and, you know, things were going down. So I was like, you know, I always think that conservative views, like where, you know, more strength with family, the strength with community, it resonates better with minorities. So I don't know. I just thought that, and it just pretty much got my views into other things. So I don't know. We're going to be reacting to a lot of views today, a lot of conservative views, a lot of minority views. So, you know, let's check them out. But these two clips, is what made me want to you know, start this kind of watch today. I thought these were interesting. Let's check these clips out first.
You vote for Trump.
I love Trump.
Now you got him this shit.
He's this Trump. Are you crazy? I'm gonna give it to you in this sense, right? Besides him being from New York, being a New Yorker, understanding another New York nigga's mentality, right? One. Besides that, he let niggas out of jail. I know 5 niggas that my man Law, shout out my nigga Law. He has 7 years left. 7. He in a box. He say he in a box. His counselor, they bring his counselor, their counselor like say, yo, you going home without him. He like, yo, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. He like, no, you go home without him. We process you. Thank Trump. And I know many other niggas, he let niggas out of jail. These niggas letting in, got niggas in jail for 3 strike laws.
You go, yeah. You do the
both of them, 3 strike laws, they hung their head on.
Yeah.
Niggas that put niggas in jail for life. Niggas.
Yeah. Which
period.
You vote for Trump.
I thought it was interesting, right? The parting, like Donald Trump's, you know, I always think that I've never really felt Donald Trump was racist, in my opinion. He said some crazy things, but I don't know. I really wouldn't consider him racist. Here's another one that I thought was interesting.
Why do you disagree with people who say that Donald Trump is not a racist?
I just don't believe that the man is a racist. This is just my personal belief because I have a personal relationship with Donald J. Trump, okay? If any of us do our research, we know that Donald Trump wasn't accused of being a racist prior to his run for office. Donald Trump was at the Michael Jackson trial with him every single day. I mean, Donald Trump ran with some of everybody, Diddy, 50 Cent. He's on the Wu-Tang Clan album. This is the same Donald Trump that when Jennifer Hudson's family was murdered, he put her up for 6 months, in Trump Tower. This is the same Trump that sent his private jet, all the way over to get Nelson Mandela when he was released from prison. This is the same Trump that gave me a full and unconditional pardon, pardon Kwame Kilpatrick, released 3,100 people from prison, in one day, July 19, 2019. I mean, if that's the type of racism we have to deal with, I'll take it,
Why do you disagree with people who say that?
I thought that was really interesting. I didn't know some of those stuff. I didn't know. I mean, I knew that he was in videos, like rap videos and all this stuff, well before the whole presidential thing. So I thought that was interesting. Here's another clip I thought was interesting.
These Democrats, and I'm sorry to say this, I'm not trying to be racist, but they hate black people. These are the same people who fought to keep slavery in. These are the same people who built the KKK. These are the same people who hated us from the beginning. The Republican Party is the party of the blacks. Blacks free, the Republican Party is the only party that the black people actually assisted in finding. But all of that history has been torn away. People say, oh, there was this big switch. There was never a big switch. There was never a big switch. So the same Democrats who hated black people from the beginning are the same ones who hate us now. And they use our cause. How did Black Lives Matter turn into something about LGBTQ? When blacks really don't support that. We're conservative. We're really not about that. Not only that, we don't support abortion. We're about workers. This is the black culture. Not only that, we're not about feminism. No, we're not. Black women marry their husbands and respect their husbands. That's what we on. We're not on this, oh, I do what I want. We don't do that.
One thing I was talking to somebody, right, about feminism within the black community is a lie. Is a lie. Because here's the thing. Black women have always had to work. They have always had to work because they didn't have the freedom like white women. They didn't have the freedom not to work. Black women had to always help provide for the family. It has always been partnership within the black community. Never about this whole, provide one man providing kind of mentality that white women got to enjoy. I was talking to this girl, this lady. We were talking about this, like feminism is an absolute joke in the black community because black women had never had the freedom or had the supposed inequality of not working. No, that's why that was a joke. That was it. That's what I'm saying. I honestly believe feminism is a joke to all minorities, in my opinion, because all minorities have always had to work. All minorities. Only white women had the liberty to complain that they wanted to work, that they wanted the freedom to work as well. Minorities did not get that freedom. They did not get the freedom of one person providing for a whole family, and now women can only be stay-at-home moms. No, that's why I've always thought feminists. Yo, Alvy, thank you, bro. Thank you for stopping by, bro. I missed ya. Yeah. I mean, they never had the freedom like the white women to, spew the feminist crap. They never did. So that's why I always thought it was, ridiculous with that. So let's move on to another one. Let's move on to another video. Miss ya, Alvy.
Let me tell you something here. Number one, Kamala did not grow up like me. She grew up in upper middle class. Really, that don't matter. I'm voting on policies, and her policy sucks. So Obama, keep your mouth shut, okay? You're the gatekeeper. You kept the gate on a lot of black people being ignorant. Quite a few of them have awakened to the lies of the Democrat Party. So Barack Hussein Obama, kiss our we voting for Trump.
This whole let's go after black men because Kamala's support is down with all men and black women too compared to other Democrat candidates in the past. Totally.
See, this is the thing, right? I've seen this in my comment sections plenty of times, where you see black men coming in and it's like, oh, why are you talking about our community? Why are you talking about community? Because here's the thing, you guys aren't even supporting your community. There are plenty, these black men that come into my comment section and saying, why are you talking about this? Why are you talking about that? Because you know what? You are not even supporting black men. What are you doing? What are you doing supporting black men? You are chastising black men. You don't give a voice to black men. You are not even there for black men. And I'm supporting black men where black men are calling BS on like, how can the Democrat Party talk down to them?
Backfired on them. A lot of black men are responding to Obama right now for his comments. Obama called black men making their own decisions in this election cycle, quote, unacceptable. Well, black men, they have something to say.
Hey, Barack Obama, as a black man, this must be sad, man. You, Kamala Harris, and the Democratic Party. We vote for Trump, right?
Barack Obama gets called out after demanding brothers vote for Kamala Harris. So you had Barack Obama demand.
And I think this is the thing where it is absolutely insane how you see the left Democrats think black men are stupid. And I'm sorry, but this has been the narrative for so long. They think black men are stupid. That black men can't decide things on their own. We are all adults. We had the free will to decide things on our own. That's the thing where I hate that. Where here's the thing where I've seen more and more is that there's no freedom. Freedom of speech, no freedom of choice. You should respect a person for making their own choices. Knowing that, you know what? It's up to you. You're an adult. You are free to make the decision you make. Instead of, you know what, putting people down on what decisions they make.
And then brothers vote for Kamala Harris. Barack Obama ain't demand anybody else to vote for her. He ain't called nobody else out, just the brothers, right? Because brothers ain't allowed to vote for who they want to vote. Vote for their interests. Vote for what they believe will be best for them and their families. You know what I'm saying? They got to vote for Kamala because Obama said so. This is what I got from all that, man. So you have...
And this is the thing, right? It's out of a lot of, black community's mouth, black people's mouth, that Obama did very little, if anything, for the black community when he was president. So to think that people want to vote for Kamala because she's of minority descent, it's about the policies. It's about your body of work. She is vice president right now. Her party is in charge right now, and I don't know if they're doing much of anything for black people right now. The last few years, what have they been doing? I don't know. I mean, you tell me, right? I think they've been doing very little for minority communities, if anything.
Had a lot of brothers calling out Obama. You know what I'm saying? Brothers like, boy, I know you ain't talking Obama like Obama. You was the swaggiest president. You talk a good game. I give you that. You know what I'm saying? I give you that. But we don't want to hear all that, man. Brothers gonna do what brothers do, man. Everybody has the right to vote for who they want to vote for, not who Barack Obama tells them to vote for.
And the fact that didn't nobody even think about this lady in 2020 when she ran, it's just mind-boggling. Then y'all got signs up in the back, all them signs that say black voters. That was very offensive. That was very racist. And I'm gonna say that. That was very racist. If it was Donald Trump and he had signs up that said black voters, literally CNN would be spinning that all day calling him a racist. The stuff y'all try to pull over people's heads, man, is ridiculous.
Obama said what? I know they ain't brought Obama to the thing, he gonna get some straightening somewhere.
I do think it's amazing, right? I do think it's amazing that people say so much shit about Trump, yet a lot of minorities are backing him up. Now, I don't know who's going to win. I'm not saying nothing about that, but I'm amazed by so many people backing him up, especially minorities. So that's got to say something. That's got to say something.
I just know they ain't did that. And then he gonna have the nerve to say, y'all better be glad Michelle ain't here. What he gonna do? What is Michelle gonna do? You calling out black men specifically for not voting for Kamala because she's black. But what did you do for the black men while you were there? What did you do for us? I'm trying to figure it out right now. You want to call us out of all the races? You want to call us out? You want to say that we supposed to just be supporting her because she black? Okay, what did you do for us? I seen you do a lot for the LGBTQ plus. I think I said that right. I don't want to offend nobody. You did a lot for them. You did a lot for the police too. You the one started back the blue. But y'all want to say Trump trying to get a police immunity. But you done brought your Newport smoking on here and want to say something and try to call us out. Call us out. I bet the people in Flint, Michigan still got a lot to say about you because last time I heard they still ain't got safe water. But you talking about us. Man, if you don't sit your down somewhere, I don't care if they... Wait, hold up. My bad, y'all. I was looking for a give because I done ran all out.
Obama. Who the hell are you, man? Who the hell are you? Talking to brothers like you somebody's daddy. Like we can't think for ourselves. And I need to put the word out about you brothers who were standing there with him as he, talks down on men, black men in particular. Y'all should have left. I don't even know why y'all stood there and listened to that foolishness. No, and let me say this too, Mr. Obama. I bet you wouldn't go and talk to black men in mega spaces like that. I tell you that. You know where to go. You sitting over there addressing black men in a safe space. You wouldn't dare come over to black men in mega spaces talking that crap. I guarantee you that. You ain't nobody's daddy, man. Acting like black men can't think for themselves, and when we do,
I do think that is the biggest takeaway. We have so many people talking down to black men. Like, this is a war of freedom, right? One of the biggest tenet of our country is freedom of choice, free will. So who cares what people vote? Allow them to make their own decisions. That's the thing. Wait. That's not how you cater to people. That's not how you cater to people, by talking down to them, by thinking that they're stupid they can't even vote for themselves. Really? This is ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous.
Somehow don't like women. Man, if you don't get your sissy up out of here, light the White House in gay color.
So Obama and all the Democrats said that all black men should vote for Harris. Meanwhile, she's married to a white man, but it's a problem when black men want to vote for a white man, but she married one.
The audacity of you to say to us that we are required and we better vote for Kamala Harris and that we don't want to see a woman in a position of power. You are a liar. I remember in June of 2010, I was in Baghdad, Iraq, and I watched your State of the Union address as a proud young black man to see a black president on the television. But I listened to you as you told the American people that we would not spend any additional resources in Baghdad or in Afghanistan, and we're going to bring our troops home in December of 2014. Right then and there, I knew you couldn't be trusted. Why? Because I'm watching them build sidewalks, build streets, and construct buildings in Baghdad, Iraq in 2010, as you say we're going to leave in 2014. So now that you get on a stage or a platform and try to bully us and belittle us and try to make the world believe that we're not intelligent enough to see what you and the demonic Democratic Party is doing, you're the biggest problem to black people, not the Republican Party. Just because our policies differ or our views differ or our perspectives and values differ, now you want to attack? No, Barack, you're a liar and you're part of the problem.
I really genuinely need somebody to explain to me why Barack Obama thinks it's a great idea to go out here and have black men vote for Kamala Harris and galvanize the black male vote when this lady gonna do the same thing for us that he did, which is not a mother thing. Like, let's be clear, Barack Obama talking about, this is now the time for you black men to go out and vote for Kamala Harris. She needs your support, all right? We are obligated to do this because I'm going to pull out the race card out of my ass, the same as I pulled out the race card when I told you we were going to bring change to America. Yes, we can. Yes, we can what? Yes, we got to reverse 8 years of bad George Bush policy. The Democratic Party has convinced black people that Donald Trump is somehow already in office. This is how they work. They literally play the psychological mind game to say, if Donald Trump this, if Donald Trump that. Barack Obama, what did you do for the black people? What did you do for black people when you got in office, Barack? We gave you a Nobel, you were awarded a Nobel Peace Prize simply for being able to say you stood on the shoulders of Dr. King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, all the people that came before you. Did you live up to it? Did you do anything that was deserving of a Nobel Peace Prize before you got in office? No. Did you do anything that was deserving of a Nobel Peace Prize while you were in office? No. Did you do anything of substance for black people? No. But we treated you like Moses when in actuality you were just Pharaoh. And I'm not saying you were Pharaoh like you were oppressive in Egypt, like Pharaoh was to the Israelites in Egypt, but you were Pharaoh in terms of you held a political office, and we elevated you to the status of Martin when you didn't even do half the work he nor Malcolm did.
So Barack Obama was in Pittsburgh and he...
You know, the thing where, I mean, I'm not like the biggest on political, but one of the things that I heard that would benefit minority communities is his tax breaks on overtime, tax breaks on tips. That will help minority communities immensely. I think tax breaks on cars, a tax deduction on cars. I think that's amazing. I think that's amazing. So they're already there, because here's the thing: Democrats are in charge right now. Why weren't those tax breaks already implemented? Why aren't those? It's like I see commercials. I see commercials of Kamala's supposed policies. Yet your party's in power right now. Why aren't these policies already happening? It would have been a good indicator if she's a good president, if all these policies that she's saying has already been implemented. That her party's presidency would have been amazing. It hasn't. So now she's saying, oh, all the things she would have done, or all the things she's going to do when she's president. Why aren't you doing it when you're vice president? You make it seem like there's such an amazing, drastic difference in power. Your party's in the lead, is in power right now. Yet all the things that you say you're going to do, why aren't you already doing? That's the thing where I find it amazing. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like the whole cargo thing, like everything that's happening right now, they have the power to do something about it right now because their party is the party that's in power. Yet these last few years, they've done nothing. So now you're promising things that when you become president, why aren't you doing things now that you guys are in power? That's ridiculous. That's why I really don't, find Kamala's to be a great beacon of hope for the people.
had a few words to say about black men. black men aren't excited to vote for Kamala Harris. We aren't excited to vote for her. Why do you think that, Barack? Is it because that she is drop step with one of the worst presidents we've ever had? Is it that she was the border czar and didn't do anything about the migrants coming over? Is it because she has to read from a teleprompter every time she does a rally or does something like that? Is it because black men are just saying, you know what, maybe I want to vote a different way? Why is it that every time we have an issue, you gotta attack us, Barack? You don't do the white man like that. You don't do Asians like that. You don't do Hispanics like that. But when it comes to the black man, if we don't vote one way, then y'all want to attack us.
This message is for President Obama. First and foremost, you're not going to tell me what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. Number one, I ain't going to vote for Kamala Harris. I think that she's going to make a bad president. She's a bad vice president. Everything she does.
I don't think she's going to be a good president. I really don't. Because right now, like I said, right now, you see what will happen if she's essentially in power, if her party's in power, because nothing is really happening. Nothing good is happening to the American people.
She tries to politicize it, and she hasn't shown the fact that she wants to put America first ever. So I'm not voting for that individual. Secondly, I think that it's really sad that you would come out against black men and actually degrade them because they're not picking the person that you want them to vote for. All right. And the last thing that I'm going to say is the moment that I became a Republican and a conservative, that is when I got the most hate from the opposite party. All right. Being that I'm a conservative, being that I'm a Republican, I've always been accepted. For the little bit of time that I may have been liberal, I never heard anything from the Republicans. They never came out and called me slanderous things. They never came out and called me racist things. The only time that I ever started hearing things about my skin color and about, you know, racism or whatever was when I became a Republican. And that was from Democrats that were saying that. So no, I'm not going to be voting for who you want me to vote for. I'm going to do what I want as a man, and I'm going to be the man that I am, so you don't get to say anything.
So apparently the former president, Barack Hussein Obama, just called me out. I don't know about y'all, but that little soliloquy of yours, Barry, sounded awfully familiar.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Now, as one of those brothers who won't be supporting Kamala, the reasoning for this is...
You know, this is a thing. I always think that the whole Democrat, the liberal, the left has made America worse. How they have focused so much. To be honest, when I was growing up, right, in the 80s, the 90s, the whole divide wasn't as big as it is today. We weren't so focused on colors, in my opinion. We weren't focused on race. We weren't focused on these woke ideologies so much. Now it's so much in our face. And I think it's probably geared towards, you know, we've been focusing so much on liberal, woke ideology, left ideology, and I'm just tired of it. I really am. I really am.
It's actually quite simple. Yeah, we're done. We're done with the lying, the constant gaslighting, the identity politics. Yo, vote for me because I'm a black Democrat. Yeah, no. And a lot of black men specifically are finally waking up to this and fleeing that Democrat plantation. And you, Barry, are terrified.
There it is. Obama came for black men, and this is what happened. For a long time, black people have been disgusted by Obama's lack of support for the black community while he was in office. He had nothing for the black community, but he had boule parties. No economic development for black Americans, no tangibles, no nothing. And as a result, black men have rejected Obama. This has been the sentiment for many years, but it was never this loud. But now, since he tried to show out or crash out for the Curry Queen, well, black men showed up and showed out in front of the whole world. Yeah, everyone knows the truth now. Black people are not rocking with Obama in this era. We are not supporting Kamala either, or anybody associated with them. And listen, Kamala the Cosplay Chameleon going to a bunch of feminine black boule shills like Roland Martin or the Shade Room or the Breakfast Club, it's not going to change that. What you're going to find out is they have no influence over the black grassroots. We don't respect them. Let's go ahead and get the conversation.
Interesting. All right, let's do some conservative watch-alongs. I always like to watch these things because I think they're interesting. I always like the different kind of ideas, the different takes. So I always think they're interesting to watch.
Settling question remains. Was Marcellus Williams innocent?
We will remember him for his deeply evocative poetry and his love for and service to his family and his community. The world will be a worse place without him. Williams is the 3rd inmate executed in Missouri and the 15th in this country this year.
So why did the governor, state Supreme Court, and the U.S. Supreme Court decide not to intervene? At the time, prosecutors argued Williams broke into Gail's home, stabbed her 43 times with a kitchen knife, also taking her personal laptop. Gail's personal belongings were allegedly found in Williams' car, and the laptop was apparently sold by Williams shortly after the murder.
There's no unequivocal evidence that he should have not been executed. The man, do you know what he did?
Yes, he went to a reporter's home and stabbed her 46 times.
That is crazy.
That is what they say.
But isn't that crazy? In the description section, let's get into this. How you doing?
Hey,
what's your name first?
Oh, my name's Mel.
Mel. Okay, nice
Mel,
to meet you.
M-E-L. You're Brandon. I'm sorry. I've just did some research on you. So I want to go back to Marcel Williams, I believe. You said that he was guilty and he should have been killed. Is that correct?
Yes. According to the law.
Yes, but are you aware about like how many stipulations there is against his case? Like how many, like how the own prosecutor said that they mishandled evidence, they altered DNA evidence, and they did make a biased jury. Are you aware
I don't
of that?
think that that's verifiably true. I think that's things that are rumored.
Yeah, I've been wondering that too. I've been hearing so many mixed things. Now, I don't really have a solid take on that, so that's why I wanted to listen to this. I mean, I don't have a concrete take. I mean, it is what it is. What I've heard is that he had 20 years to prove otherwise. He didn't, so, you know.
But it went before a court. Clemency was presented to the governor, and it went to the Supreme Court of the United States of America. And in every single court, he lost his appeal. So to me, I'm more inclined to believe that the case against him was solid enough that he was ultimately executed. There's many people that were not executed in this country because they've taken their case to higher courts and have been overturned. I don't think Marcellus Williams is any different than anybody else. You would have to show me unequivocal evidence as clear as the noonday sun for me to believe that they wrongfully executed this man. And I want to argue this is not racist. It's not a racial thing. People want to make it a racist thing because the last person that was executed had the same argument that he had, and it was a white man.
Yeah, I did hear that. I heard that there were some mishandling of the evidence. So, you know, that's the thing where I think we would probably been better off if he got life. That's the thing.
That was convicted or accused of a double murder. He was executed in the same state. So I don't think it's a racial thing, and I think that he just simply lost.
Was the prosecutor for the white man arguing for the white man to get off trial? Was the defense of the prosecution of the white man, just like Marcel Williams, trying to get him off?
Yes. Not the prosecution, but his defense argued that he was innocent, and he still got executed.
Thing is, though, in this case, the prosecution argued to other courts, and the defense, both sides who were involved in that trial, argued that he was innocent.
And they lost.
The former Missouri governor was actually in the process of getting him off. I'm really sorry, I forgot his name. It doesn't
matter his name, but they lost. They simply lost in the court of law.
Yes, but the governor himself was convinced that he was innocent and was actually starting the process.
The governor was not convinced. The governor was not convinced he was innocent. He had a chance.
No, I'm talking about not this one. I'm really sorry, I forgot his last name, and that is kind of embarrassing because I am on camera and I forgot. But
it's totally fine, dude.
The former governor, back in I think like 2018, 2019, I forgot when the scandal was, but he was basically trying to get this man off because he was also listening to the prosecution, listening to the defense, and knew that this man was innocent. Oh, sorry, I'm just in front of the mic. And
that is the thing, right? I didn't know what to I don't know my take on it too, because I heard that it was a bit messy. That's why when something is so messy, I would say it might as well just be life, right? Just lifetime jail.
Then
so do you think it was about race?
Excuse me. No, I haven't mentioned that yet.
Okay.
But the man wanted to get him off, but then he got basically into a huge scandal. I believe he he either was looking at child pornography or rape. I forgot which one it was, and he ended up resigning. The guy who came in power after that was convinced that he wasn't in it.
Well, I wouldn't trust a man that was looking at child pornography and ended up getting removed from office. So I'm saying the actual governor that's in place today had an option to, not evade, it's another word for it, his execution, but he did not. Okay, I think we can leave it at that. There's no unequivocal evidence that he should have not been executed. The man, do you know what he did?
Yes, he went to a reporter's home and stabbed her 46 times.
That is crazy.
That is what they say.
But isn't that crazy? He admitted to it. That's why he went to prison the first time. He admitted to stabbing a woman 43 times. You know how crazy?
That's what I heard too. So I was like, that's why it's a messy thing. It was a messy thing. So that I don't know. I've heard he admitted, but it's very messy.
It is
with hung DNA evidence. With
it doesn't matter. He admitted to stabbing his woman. He was the suspect, convicted,
and
the family forgave him. Everybody knows that follows the case that he was a guilty party. They're not trying to prove that he's innocent. They just didn't want him to be executed. The family of the victim said that they wanted him to do life instead of execution. So we're not arguing whether he killed this woman by stabbing her 43 times or not. That's not the argument here. The argument is, should he been executed versus spending the rest of his life in prison? And he lost his cases in the court, and here we go. He is no longer with us. Rightfully so, according to the law. Okay.
That is interesting. All right, let's try another video. This is just a watch along. I wanted to watch these clips. So I figured, why not watch it with my, my bros?
People in America don't have wealth like others because they choose not to generate wealth through investments and passing their money down.
Who's teaching us to do this?
We should teach each other to do it. Why does somebody got to teach? You want the white man to teach us? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, hell, teach us something.
Okay, no, you could teach something. You got a college, you could get in the, okay, Chris.
I noticed you have the, unless I read wrong, you have the Make America Great Again.
Yeah, I do.
I want you to tell me exactly the point in history where America was great.
It's funny. Point to me a time in history where America wasn't great. Tell me where it started.
The birth of America.
This where America wasn't great.
On murder and thievery and deception. What do you mean?
Now let me explain this to you real quick. This is for everybody to listen to. Everybody always have this perception that we shouldn't acknowledge America as being great. America started at a certain point and grew and came better over time. No country that you know of was 100% perfect at the foundation.
I love that. That's why I wanted to watch this clip. I was watching it a little bit, but I wanted to watch this fully with you guys. This is the problem with our modern day society right now. And I've talked about this when it comes to women and men dynamic. Women constantly want perfection. They constantly want perfection. Oh my God, I have to be perfect making money, my job, my career, how much money I have to make is perfect, the kids, the man, everything's perfection. I think this right here, this generation is failing because they're so entitled. Nothing in this world is perfect. Nothing. In my opinion, nothing in this world is perfect. This is the problem where no one is understanding it. There are flaws. No one is perfect. Our country is not perfect, but you know what? I love America. I love America. I do not want to live in any other country besides America. In my opinion, I love America. So to think that, yes, there are flaws, but there's flaws in every single country in this world. So to hate your country, to put it down because, oh, this is how it started. This young man did not live during those times. So when people talk about, oh, the slavery, this, all that, I get it. Our country's history is not perfect, but whose country's history is perfect? Nobody. So we don't have any grace. We don't have any leeway for, you know what? Hey, we're not living in a utopia. Perfection is not guaranteed. So really, let's see the goodness of it, and let's see what let's also think of things that we can improve upon.
No country.
You
no
didn't answer my
country in the
question.
world. No countries in Africa, no countries in Europe. You can name it. Everybody started at a certain point, and it became greater
You
over
didn't
time.
answer my question.
Ever since you've been alive, America has been the greatest it's ever been.
You think so?
100%, brother. You can name somewhere else that's better than America. And why don't you live there?
I'm not sure.
I know you're not sure because they don't exist.
Were they?
Show me somewhere else that's as diverse as America. Anywhere.
As diverse?
That's as diverse.
What does diversity mean if people are
Opportunities
being
for
discriminated
all
against?
people. Show me another country that give opportunities for all people like America.
Do you
does.
think we have the same opportunity as everybody else, as
Who-
black people?
Yeah, 100%.
With a 200-year economic head start?
He's in a college that's filled with different races of people, and you say you don't have the opportunity. The opportunity is your work. If you're gonna work as hard as that white man, if you're gonna work as hard as that Asian man, if you are going to work as hard and better than any other man, that is the opportunity. This is the thing where people think that, what is it? We have the, I forgot the saying, that we all have opportunities. It's how we, make it work for us.
On us and no
What's stopping you
reparations?
now? Aren't you at this university?
Yeah.
You're at the university just like all these white people. How's that any different? Can't you?
I want you to go 2 blocks that way and tell me
Forget
where
that.
they at.
You can read. You can go to class. You can make good grades. I'm hoping that you're making straight A's. How is America stopping you from doing that? And how is it stopping you from being prosperous enough to go down the street and make a difference in your own community? How is America stopping you from doing
Why
that?
is it my responsibility to make a difference in my community that was sabotaged from the start?
I don't think. Let's go back to the
Do
foundation.
you think the CIA planted drugs in our communities?
They didn't make you sell it.
Do you think they?
No. I agree.
Do you think they burned down
stories of how
black
the CIA,
businesses? Do you know what Black Hollywood is?
Let's go one at a time. I've heard stories that the CIA planted drugs in the inner city communities. Not every black community, but in some. They still don't make you go and sell drugs to your brother, do they? Why are you not selling drugs right now? Because it doesn't make sense for you to do that. You have an opportunity to go to a university, get an education, and make yourself better and make your family better in the next few years.
That is why it's a lack of accountability. I'm sorry. This is why the foundation of this channel is about accountability. Stop blaming others. It's what you're going to do. It's what you will do. We are living in a country in this time and age of absolute 100% freedom, in my opinion. So it's what you're going to do with it. What are you going to do with this abundance of freedom?
Generations. Nobody's stopping us from doing that. I'm sitting on campus right now, and all these people are listening to me.
You know what's stopping
What's
everybody?
stopping me?
Money.
In America, what's stopping you from making money in America?
What the f is not stopping us from making money?
You
What
go to
fuck
the
do
same
you
university as
mean?
all these white people. How you got it different?
Exactly.
You said what? Excuse me?
We're in debt.
That's
That's our
your
fault. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right?
Okay,
we were never given boots to begin with.
Let's start with this. I actually went and graduated from a university. So I'm not a guy that didn't go to college. I had a full scholarship, so I didn't pay for school in my undergrad. Graduate school, I paid for out of my pocket. I did not get a loan. I mean, I did not have to get loan forgiveness or nothing like that. I had $11,000 worth of debt and I paid it. How is that different than anybody else out here?
Because everybody doesn't have the same opportunity.
I'm black though. How did I pay my loan off and you can't? Or
where you from?
I'm from Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, Dunbar High School.
Fort Worth,
right
Texas.
in the hood and stop 6. Right in the hood and stop 6. How did I get to this point if America's against me?
Did everybody in your neighborhood get to that point?
Well, different choices. There's a lot of people in my neighborhood that made it out.
This is the thing. This is the problem with our This is the problem with the younger generation. Lack of accountability. Seriously. You know what? I had to get loans. I paid off my own college. My own college debt. I had to pay it off. No white man is paying my shit off. I mean, I'm debt free. I mean, college debt free. I ain't paying that shit. Seriously.
Because they made better choices. I could have sold drugs. I didn't. Why? Because I wanted something better out of my life.
What do you say about the disproportionate wealth? Is that
okay.
Does that not matter?
It's about culture. How much money do you save?
I don't know. I'm in debt, bro.
You in debt.
You can't save money? I'm saying lack of accountability. I'm in debt. I can't save. Really? Really? You can't save? Are you working? I mean, this is infuriating. It is very infuriating. I mean, like, like, people always see me like bagging on women, but this is the thing. When I don't, it's not about your gender that I'm bagging on. It's about your mindset. Okay, this is a thing where women will call me misogynist and all this shit. It's not about hating women. It's about the mindset. This young man's mindset is no different than a woman. He lacks accountability. Blame it. Oh, I'm on debt. Seriously? Who put that debt on you? No one's forcing you to go to college. That's why, you know what? You could go to trade school. No, but you decided to go to college and what? Get debt? Well, that's your choice. Now you better work hard to pay off that debt and make that degree work for you.
How much do you invest?
I don't know.
How did you get into debt? Who chose to come here?
Me.
Well, that's you laid it out. Now, when you come here, for every college student here, this should be an investment into your future.
Right.
Anybody that know anything about making money knows that you have to invest to get to the next step. You may be in debt. You may be in debt to make an investment to get to the next step. So if you do this properly, this is a debt investment to make more money in the future. If you come here and clown around and take a major that won't put you anywhere, then you just got into debt for no doggone reason. It's a cultural thing. Black people in America don't have wealth like others because they choose not to generate wealth through investments and passing their money down.
Who's teaching us to do this?
We should teach each other to do it. Why does somebody got to teach? You want the white man to teach us? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, hell.
You know what? No one. This is the thing where no one has taught me to invest. Nobody. None of my family, none of my mom, my dad, my shitty dad. No, I had to, on my own, look through YouTube, look through whatever, and found information, learn from YouTube. This is the insanity. This is the absolute idiocy, right? Of young people. No one taught me. You have the most powerful learning tool in your effing hands. Okay? There is no excuse in this world. There is none. The most powerful learning tool in your hand. I learned all the shit I learned about investing on my phone, through YouTube, through Google. I learned it on my own. I didn't have no white man telling me. I had no Asian man. I had nobody, okay? Nobody in real life telling me. Hell, I only started investing about 5-6 years ago. It took me a long ass time to learn this shit and to have the discipline, have the knowledge to invest. Stop putting the blame on other people. This is why I don't give a shit if you're a woman, if you're a man. If you lack accountability, you are an idiot. You are such bottom of the barrel idiot that it's infuriating. Constantly, this is the thing. This is why, honestly, I'm sorry. This is a problem with like leftist young idiots. Because you constantly blame others instead of recognizing the accountability. You should do shit yourself. You should make changes yourself. Stop expecting other people to fix your life, to change your life.
Teach us something.
Okay, no, you could teach something. You got a college, you could get a college education. When you have children, teach your children.
So basically help yourselves. We know you have this 200-year head start.
That doesn't matter, bro. You don't have nothing to do with it. You don't have nothing to do with that.
Oh.
You don't have nothing to do with that.
I thought you said one at a time.
You don't have nothing to do with that.
I don't have nothing to do with what?
The 200 years that you're talking about.
Yes, I do. Have you ever heard of generational trauma, generational wealth? My people don't own anything. Where you come
nothing.
From? How can you build something when my people come from nothing? I come from South Memphis.
And I come from Stop 6.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. I went to university.
What does comparison mean?
What
does comparison mean when the statistics say that we are behind?
We're not behind. Some people are behind. We're not behind. Why? Because we make positive decisions. He's not behind. He's not behind. She's not behind. Do I want to go point out
on a college campus? You're on a college campus.
It depends on what you do with what you have presented to you. You were born in wherever you were born at. Look at you now. What's the difference between you and other people that didn't choose?
Opportunity.
How did you get an opportunity that other people didn't? You were in debt, so you didn't have the money. You didn't have the money to pay for it.
My parents didn't have much, but they had enough to keep me out the hood trying to make some money any way I can. I know people who have no anything. They have to go out there. They have no other choice. They have a horrible education. Do you know what the education system is like here? It's horrible.
Okay, so let's explain it like this. I wanna make sure we talk it at the same level.
Right.
So in America, every single person has an opportunity to do something with what they have in their hand.
And we have nothing in our hands. That's the point.
Let me say this. I believe wholeheartedly that God gives you a hand of cards to play. Hear me out.
God gives you
Hear me out. God gives you a hand of cards to play. Not everybody's hand is the same. What you can have a full deck of great cards and you play them poorly, you won't make it in life. You can have a bad hand. You play them strategically and you play them right, you'll do good in life. You had a not so good hand growing up where you grew up at. You made positive decisions that led you here. That's the hand you've been dealt. Everybody don't have a freaking silver spoon in their mouth. America is the only place.
They proportionately.
Who is they?
Everybody else, man.
Everybody else like who? Are you saying white people? Brother, you in the same situation as all these white people and you playing the victim.
Am I?
You at the same university?
Am I? What does the same university have to do with anything?
You go to the same classes?
I had a 4.3 GPA in high school. I did what I was supposed to hit. I did what I was supposed to do.
What's your GPA now?
3.6.
Brother, what's holding you back then?
That's the point. Everybody doesn't have a 3.6. Everybody is
Did you just get a 3.6 because you woke up one day? You studied, didn't you?
Right, no, I actually didn't.
You didn't study. No. So then you have a gift that you can go and make a 3-point something and don't even study.
Right.
Brother, I mean, I don't know. I think we're wasting our time talking to each other. The bottom line is that if you study, you work hard, you play the cards that you're dealt properly, you will be successful. This country makes more millionaires than anywhere in the world. You can talk, Oprah Winfrey came from nothing. Tyler Perry came from nothing. I mean, you go down the list. You go down a list, brother.
Why are you naming rich black people?
Because these are the people.
Why are you naming rich black people?
All right, me.
You talking about me and you. I'm talking about everybody in the surrounding, everybody outside of this bubble.
Listen, man, you're a product of your decision making. You're an example that you can come from nothing and come to the university.
A product of your decision making when the majority of others are a product of their environment.
What are we saying? You came from nothing, you're at the university. Well, how about you go and teach other young men like you that grew up where you grew up how to do what you did to get here, period. What's the problem in that? Well, come to the mic, please. Can you come to the mic?
He want me off the mic.
No, it doesn't matter about recording. Can you come to the mic so we can hear your question, please?
Come on, we
no,
double team the
so
mic.
We can get the audio in.
We can double team the mic.
Just ask the question, and I'll try to answer your question. Hold on 1 second. What's your question?
How does everyone have an opportunity when systematically the U.S. has multiple inequities within?
What inequities? Can you explain one? Wait, inequities in education, what does that mean? Do you consider yourself a minority?
I do.
Is the country against you?
Technically, in a way, it could be.
But it's not. You're here. You did what you're supposed to do to get here. That's what it's about, individuality. If you do what you need to do, you'll be here.
You as in everybody on this campus.
Listen, some people grow up in a terrible environment. Can we agree? Some people in that terrible environment make positive decisions to get out of that environment. Some people, it takes longer in life to do that. And that's not a black thing. It's an everybody thing. There's poor white people in this country too. Do you not forget that? Most people on food stamps are white. Most people incarcerated are white.
Most people in the country are white.
Most people get killed by police are white.
Most everybody in this country is white. What does that statistic have to do with anything?
That if poverty was just relegated to black people, it would only be black people.
You talking on a script?
All right, come on. Next person.
That's why, you know, that honestly, I'm sorry. That's why people with liberal mindset are losing. This is the poison right here. This liberal mindset. I swear to God, that is what's poisoning black communities. That's what poisoning That is what's poisoning minority communities. This absolute idiocy. That mindset. Instead of thinking, you know what? I have these opportunities. I need to make it work. I need to do better. I need to stop blaming other people for shit that's not. It's like, you gotta. I've known so many kids, okay? They'd rather yell in the classroom, rather curse in the classroom, rather have fights in the classroom, rather, do sex and all this shit, instead of, learning, instead of, putting your nose to the books and actually gaining knowledge. So really, this is a thing where, stop blaming like 200 years, all that shit, because I see kids right now not wanting to learn. So really, it's and the liberal script is absolutely a detriment to minority communities. It is, because honestly, it's pretty much just pushing minorities to not be better, not do better. That's the problem that I'm seeing more and more of.
My question is, so you know how in Thomas Sowell he wrote this book called Discriminations and Disparities, and he talks about personal motivations and how some people have grown up raised in whatever victimhood they have experienced, whether that's been single motherhood or fatherlessness, homelessness, whatever, and they're grown basically up in that environment, and then they don't have the personal motivations, or they don't think or see themselves as being lawyers or doctors or president or anything like that. They just see NBA players, rappers, things like that. And we see that the left has put so much money and time and effort into reparations and critical race theory and stuff like that. How are they able to manipulate the situation when the outcomes are very much outweighing and having negative consequences? How are they so able to freely manipulate that situation?
Yeah, that's a good question. What they're doing is they're weaponizing our struggle to sell us a lie. Instead of saying, we know that America have unduly put black people through a certain struggle, let us empower you to empower yourself, not sit here and let us hand you something. And that's what they've been doing over the last several years. They don't fix the schools. They just let you in a university with affirmative action. It's like, no, fix the schools so the kids are qualified and they're competitive. You don't go to the end of the line to try to fix something. You go to the root of it. Young black people, like when I was growing up, I never thought about being a doctor. I didn't know a doctor. I knew a whole bunch of dudes playing college football. I knew a whole bunch of dudes rapping. I wanted to be like, Tupac was my favorite rapper. Me and my cousins, when we were young, we used to try to battle rap each other to beat Bone Thugs. Well, y'all probably too young to know Bone Thugs and Harmony and all them. But we used to battle rap to beat Bone Thugs and Harmony. We just didn't have the vision. And it's unfortunate that just gets perpetuated and celebrated time and time again. I understand why it happens, because it's easier to be successful playing sports than it is in academics to a certain degree, right? Yeah. You come from a crappy school. I went to Dunbar High School, which I love my school, but it's in the hood, man, and we didn't have resources like that. Yeah. Some people did very well academically. I didn't. I went to university and got a degree for free by playing sports. But what we have to understand and what needs to be preached is that there's life outside of just this glam of athletics and entertainment. We need to start finding other people to look up to than just LeBron. Like the young lady, and then I don't think she was black enough, but she didn't know who Ben Carson was. But if I asked her who Beyonce was, she'll tell me. And Ben Carson is far greater of an impact in American history than Beyonce could ever have. She makes music. Ben Carson is one of the most brilliant men to ever live out of any race of anybody. So I think that they've been playing us with the emotionalism and weaponizing our pain.
I do admit that I think it's sad that role models in the black community are athletes and entertainers. I think that's really sad. Because then that's who you look up for. That's who you look up to. And as amazing as athletes and entertainers are, they're not the beacon of intelligence. They're not the beacon of knowledge, of pushing yourself to wisdom. They're not. And honestly, athletes and entertainers are a selfish profession. While academics, like doctors, lawyers, they give more to communities than in the way of knowledge. But I don't know. I think it's a sad thing that, you know, entertainers are the beacon of role model in, you know, minority communities, or in particular black communities.
Because black people, I remember when I was in college and I took Africana Studies, my first class we learned about lynching. I was so mad when I was so mad at white people when I saw that I used to walk through campus and I would walk straight and I'd be like, let a white person bump into me. I had this anger and hatred that I had when I saw how they did these black people. So the question from that point is that, do you go with hate?
You know, that was interesting. I did take African American studies, you know, so I thought it was interesting.
Hatred, or do you understand what has happened and you want to be better? And you understand that me and you and none of these people have nothing to do with slavery. We have nothing to do with it. That stuff was a long time ago. To me, slavery doesn't affect us today. Only in understanding how it happened and not repeating it, but it don't affect us today. There's nothing stopping me from being on the university full of white people. How am I any different than a white person? Let me tell you this. I want to say this. When people say that black people had a disadvantage in America, and they explore this idea or they exacerbate this idea of white privilege, they're essentially saying black people aren't better or aren't the same as white people. They're saying that black people are less than white people. Because right now, every black person on this campus should understand that there's nothing that a white person can do that you can't do. And if you don't feel that way, you've been tricked. I went to University of...
And that's what that's what I believe with the whole woke, left, liberal, Democrat stance right now, where it makes people feel like you're less than. They say all these rhetoric about women, about race. It's like about women, you're less than men. Who says that? No one's saying that you're less than men. Or about race, like, oh, black people are less than white people. What? It's like this is practically every rhetoric is like they're trying to make you rage bait. They're trying to make you angry about something. It's really that kind of rhetoric is they're trying to rage bait you.
In New Jersey, look at this woman still talking. Can you be respectful? Why don't you come to the mic? You're disrespecting another sister. All you're doing is disrespecting everybody that's coming to the mic. Let me move on. Because you're drawing attention to you. You're in my ear. You're in my ear.
Look, I'm getting the attention I want, right?
Really? This is the attention you want?
Not really, but that's what you think. So
I don't think nothing. I just want you to stop and come to the mic. It's just simple, man. See, this is the difference. You can't have a mentality like this. This is how people fail in life, to a certain degree. You got to have decorum, even if you disagree with somebody. You got to have a level of decorum. But anyway, let me move on to the next question. You have a next question?
That's basically it. But yeah, with especially, I think that people take it because every single ethnicity in America has had a history of coming into the United States. You know, like the Italians came and they were discriminated against. Irish people came, they were discriminated against. I think that black people's integration into society was more recent in years as far as segregation goes. I know we were slaves and stuff like that, but when they were supposed to be accepted as people, it was entirely different as opposed to that. But it's just crazy.
No, I think I agree. You made a really good point, and I think that everybody should understand this. She had made mention that the integration of black people is much different, right? If you look at the Hispanic people that have come into this country, the integration is different. They come through immigration or they illegally come into this country, whichever way they do it. They didn't have to go through slavery, Jim Crow, and all the other stuff. So that's a valiant point, that black people did have a challenging position to be integrated into America. Is much difficult. But I think through the adversity and difficulty, black people have become much better than they would have if it was no adversity. And if you take advantage of it, you will be great. And there's nobody has done anything great without adversity. Nobody. And I feel like black people that are successful have taken adversity and they've maximized. They've taken that idea of saying, well, you can't come into this.
And that's the thing. I think the adversity has made black people more loving, in my opinion. They have been more accepting. They have been more, they have been stronger. And it's just, but that's the thing where I only think it's sad that, in my opinion, left viewing ideas, liberal ideas, woke ideas has weakened Black community in the sense where there's barely any community at all. And that's the problem I see, that the community has weakened drastically. That's why, in all honesty, I said it, that I believe conservative views are better for minorities, so you can bring back the strength of the family unit. Bringing back the strength of the family unit will rebuild Black communities, will rebuild minority communities. And that right there is the strength that you will find, the stability, the strength, the unity of communities. I think it would be making a whole lot more powerful.
Restaurant. To saying, you know what, I'm gonna open my own restaurant. And I'm gonna change this thing. My dad, that's why having a father is important. My dad, I remember he was on a fire department, started when he was 19. My dad is almost, let's see what my dad, almost 60. Started when he was 19. He said there was discrimination on the fire department when he first started. Like some white guys and then black guys, they didn't really get along. What did my dad do? Did he tuck his tail between his legs? Did he go cry and want to get Al Sharpton to get involved? My dad said, you know what? They better watch how they treat me, because one day they'll be working for me. My dad became the chief, Fort Worth, Texas. He was a battalion chief in Fort Worth, Texas, retired. Chief of Waco, retired. Chief of Keller.
Shame. That's the thing. That's sad. Sham said that requires sacrifice. I don't see the future generation take that on. I don't. I honestly don't. I believe the woke leftist democratic ideology has poisoned the younger generation. I really do. And I've been there, I've done that. I can say this, right? In my 20s, I'll probably lean Democrat. I really did. And I think that's a poison. I think that's really poisonous, because I didn't wake up from it until late in my life. So, yeah, the younger generation won't be making effective changes that benefits people.
Texas, and he's going to retire from there. You don't need to allow adversity to make you crumble like a coward. You take adversity and you maximize, and you become great because of it. I came from Fort Worth, Texas, Dunbar High School, and Stop 6 in the hood. I didn't let that dictate who I would become. I said, you know what? I see people are selling drugs. I'm going to give you an example. We used to have this car wash, and you get your car washed for like $5. Them crackheads, I don't know how they end up putting coins in there or whatever. They'll wash your car $5. One day I went to the car wash, get my car wash, and I saw a brother smoking crack behind that car wash, and it hurt me. I said, why am I giving money to see my brother smoke crack on the back of this thing just to get my car washed? That changed how I saw my own community. And I said, I want to make a difference. I'm going to become a police officer because I want to make a difference in policing. I want to go to university and get an education because most people in my family have never been to a university. I took adversity and I said, let me take this adversity and use it as fuel to make me become the greatest man that I can be. And if everybody does that and are consistent, they will maximize what God has for them. Not everybody going to be rich. Not everybody going to be Elon Musk. That's not your goal. Your goal is to play the cards that God has put in your hand. And that goal may be being a good mom. That goal may be being a straight A student, graduating cum laude, summa cum laude. That may be just being a good person to other people and changing people's lives. Like, we have to understand that. It's not a failure if you're not rich and you don't get to this pinnacle of what people lie to you about as the American dream. It's about...
Yeah, that's the thing where I've always said this. I support men being the best version of themselves. I think it's ridiculous to think that, oh, every man needs to make 6 figures. No, that's ridiculous. You don't have to make 6 figures to make a difference, to enjoy life. No, but being the best version of yourself, the version that will make you happy, that will be able to support your family, that will be able to take care of your family, be able to achieve the best life you can achieve, that's good enough. And hopefully you will do something where you help others, where you want to encourage others, where you live a life of, in my opinion, morality, of principles. So,
hey Charlie,
how are you?
I'm good. How about you? So you're notoriously anti-Civil Rights Act.
Well, again, I explained that earlier. There's parts of it that were good.
Okay. I want to know what your idea for like not only Black liberation, but like liberation for any type of minority that was protected through the Civil Rights Act. Like what your idea for that would be if it wasn't there.
Yeah, again, I said it earlier that the part of the Civil Rights Act that disallowed businesses from administering services based on race, that was a good part. The other parts that created this this ridiculously overreaching anti-racist bureaucracy was ridiculous, and now it's being...
Like what parts?
Well, for example, the parts that give us the enforcement on the Voting Rights Act, which says that so I'll give you an example. Merrick Garland recently said that states cannot have voter ID because it's a violation of the Civil Rights Act. So that's insane, because the Civil Rights Act went as far to say not just disparate encounter, but disparate impact.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So
I get that.
So the impact goes too far for me. Now, for example, if you go to a Walgreens and someone says blacks shall not come in, that should obviously be illegal. But if it says that, hey, at Walgreens, black customers are stopped more for shoplifting than white customers, then they have come into stores, by the way, and big settlements have been paid because it's a violation of the Civil Rights Act, even though it turns out that the black shoplifters were like actually shoplifting more on average than white shoplifters. So disparate impact is very, very dangerous.
Okay.
And that's where the Civil Rights Act allowed us to go.
Okay, I get that. But I also have another question about like student protests regarding any. You've been notoriously against like, you know, like the Black Lives Matter protests, the Palestinian encampment that was here last year.
One a little less, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 100% against student protests because I'm sorry. These students are stupid. I've seen, like, let's say this, the whole Palestine protest. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You are protesting for another country that you don't live in. It's absolutely idiotic. We have people in our own country right now that are suffering, that aren't doing well, that aren't achieving better lives. Yet you, as idiotic kids, think, oh, it's a good idea to protest a country I don't live in, nor do I benefit from, nor do I know anything about, really. You want to make a difference in the Middle East? How about go there? How about volunteer into that country instead of, you know what, trying to mess up your own country with violent protests, with riots, with all this. No, I honestly, protests nowadays are idiotic, in my opinion. They are so stupid because they turn into riots. And honestly, a lot of people, especially the kids, they're only protesting because it's a cool thing. It's a cool thing to be a protester.
But then like, if I'm not mistaken, you're pretty pro like anti-COVID, like anti-restriction for COVID protesters. Like protests, just to be clear, I'm pro like any sort of protest. Like I'm pro.
I think they all should have a right.
Yes.
Of course.
But like when protest has been shown to like voice the opinion of the people and create change in a very like in a way that could be systemic in the future, why do you pick and choose certain protests and certain gatherings to like to go against?
To be clear, they all should be legal. I mean,
Yes.
unless you're occupying a campus illegally, which was happening, or you're harassing kids on the way to class, you don't have a right to do that.
But there was also some of that on the way around. But
I'm sorry, what?
And then just keep on going.
Or in BLM, you have a right to march for that, but you don't have a right to loot stores, right?
Yeah, but then there's also like a lot of like black liberation movements like used violence as a way.
Yes, I agree, and that was wrong.
Yeah, but then there wouldn't be.
There wouldn't
be equal rights like there would.
Are there? Well, hold on a second. I'm against the Civil Rights Act and its current writing.
Yes,
so,
I mean, but
so
like
I'm very consistent in that. So I don't think.
Yeah, but there's a good chance that there wouldn't be like an option for like businesses to discriminate against black people if there weren't protests that actually caused attention.
First of all, I think looting is wrong and destruction of property is wrong,
yeah.
period.
Yeah.
I don't care what you're doing it in the name of. It was wrong when they were smashing windows on January 6th. It's wrong when you're burning a Wendy's in the name of George Floyd.
Okay, yeah.
Secondly, what was exactly being protested with the BLM? Like the death of George Floyd?
I mean, no, it's just police brutality and defunding police. Well, not only defunding, but like allocating those resources to different areas.
It's so outrageous. There's not enough police in black American neighborhoods.
I disagree. I live in New York. There's police. There's police.
Crime is way up in New York, man.
I know, but it's not. But that's a
we used to have
how
police. No. The head count has gone down.
There's like 4 policemen every corner.
Let me ask you: was the city safer under Giuliani or Bloomberg or under De Blasio or Adams?
It's.
What part of New York are you from?
I'm from like close to Harlem.
Okay, so you would know this intimately then.
Yes.
You know that it was safer under Bloomberg than it was under De Blasio.
Yeah, I'm not very pro De Blasio or Adams.
Okay,
yeah.
So but just to be clear, that you're asking me like what protests I pick and choose.
Yeah.
Like, I also will see what they're protesting. Again, they all have a right to protest. To be clear,
yeah.
But if you're protesting something stupid, I'm going to criticize you. Like, how about this? Instead of protesting against systemic racism, why don't you go protest to put dads back in the home?
I think that's a pretty stupid.
It's stupid to go put dads back in the home?
Yes.
Why? No, tell me. That's
because
so
that's not like I feel like to protest it has to be something more.
So idiotic. It's like that's the problem. That's the problem with like these woke ass kids, these Democratic kids, these liberal kids. You think that it's not a good thing for the strength of the family unit? It's absolutely idiotic. This is why future generations can't take this on. This is why I'm sorry with the protests of these stupid kids. Does what? Honestly, their logic is not even there.
More systemic.
Okay. No, this is interesting. So instead of actually improving your life, you should go protest and scream.
Dads back in the home is a pretty individual issue.
Exactly. That's what makes us different. So instead of going into the street and screaming about some sort of injustice, go improve your life.
Yeah, but
Yeah, his parents didn't do a thorough job. It's like that. I'm sorry. That's why a lot of these college kids are raised by also liberal, idiotic parents. So, yeah.
That's not how you create change in a widespread audience.
Bingo. That's what makes conservatives different than leftists. Is that we think the true revolution should happen at home. The true revolution is you being a better citizen, getting loyally married to your spouse, having children, raising them well, going to church, having a job, being a good citizen, not going on the streets complaining about.
Well, I'm against that because I think, and I'm not against that, but I'm just, if whatever you decide to do with your life is like what you decide to do, but I think revolution comes through the gathering of people with like-minded views, and that can come most effectively through protest.
Sure, but I think be careful what revolution you try to invite.
Of course, yeah. Well, that's the point. People can choose if they want to or don't want to.
Yeah, I think that it's so interesting. Instead of trying to like create this massive revolutionary change, use that energy to look yourself in the mirror and saying, I have a lot of problems, and I'm going to fix those problems.
But that only affects
society's problem.
But that only affects you.
Exactly, because that's what you can control. What we have turned into is a country.
I live by that. I live by that. Listen to this. I've said this before. This is why the tenet of this channel is accountability. That is why the tenet of this channel is accountability. In life, the only thing you can control is your life, is yourself. So if if more people understand accountability, more people will be accountable for their life, be accountable for their actions, and be better people. That's the thing. If everyone, majority people, are accountable, they want to be better people, be productive, good adults, we would have less problems. It's the problem is that we constantly blame others. We constantly care about other problems instead of our own problems. Nah, we're always pushing things off to other people. We don't care about other, That's the problem.
That worries far more about other people's problems than their own problems.
Yeah, but what if there are a lot of societal issues? Like, what are we supposed to just like not care about?
Well,
them?
of course you
Like-
should care about them, but these are what.
Alvy, I'm sorry. I mean, I understand. I totally understand. I thought those. I mean, me personally, I wanted to watch these, so I thought they're interesting. I get it. Not everyone is going to be into it. So, you know, if you're going to fall asleep, I totally understand, bro. I'm probably going to, I mean, I'll do a little bit something different after this one. It's a 30-minute video, so might be a little bit long. I wanted to watch this, so thank you for stopping by, bro.
Where has the emphasis been on stop doing certain behaviors that are obviously bad for you and therefore bad for society?
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
I'm voting for Kamala because of the child tax credit and because of
Really?
Yeah.
You know the one that Trump had in his tax cut?
No, I know. It's a good thing though. I agree with it both.
Yeah, so do you think that Kamala would manage the economy well?
Yeah.
Why hasn't she done it the last 3.5 years?
She's the vice president. Are we okay? Are we gonna
You're right.
act like the vice president is managing the economy?
Do you think Joe Biden's running the economy right now?
I think the White House senior staff.
Hold on a second. If
I think White House senior
if
staff.
Kamala Harris wanted to run the country, she could. How did Kamala Harris do with running the border?
Again,
How many illegals have come in under her watch? Can you guess?
7 million. Look, I obviously don't know the number off the top of my
It's
head.
10 million people. Is that a success?
I don't think the border wall would be any more of a success.
Well, hold on. Under Trump, border crossings were at an all-time low. Kamala Harris, 10 million people that illegally come to this country, which is more than the population of New Jersey. Why does she deserve to be a president when she can't even manage the border?
Why? Okay, so yeah, I know. The bill that Biden and Harris put in to increase the border patrol.
Don't. 1 second, please. No, it's not about the bill. You could do this all by executive order. Remain in Mexico. They've decided to empower the foreign. Kamala Harris has overseen the border. She failed. She oversaw the Russian-Ukrainian dispute and went to the Munich Security Conference, and hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians died. She was the deciding vote on the Inflation Explosion Act that makes everyone have to pay more in goods and services. Her first day was 3.5 years ago as VP. What has she done that has given you confidence she'll do a good job as president?
I mean, she inherited a bad COVID economy, and it's gotten better. It has. It's gotten better since the COVID. Yes, the economy is better since the end of COVID.
Prices are higher. People can't afford homes. 1.5 million people lost their jobs in the last year. You ask anybody in the economy, the American people don't agree with it, by the way. 75% of Americans disapprove of the economy right now.
Yeah.
But if she was so good, by the way, so she says, I'm going to do no tax on tips, stole it from Trump. Why doesn't she just tell the IRS to do that right now?
Right. She's been in there years.
I don't honestly know much about tax on tips and the IRS thing.
But let's just put all this aside.
Yeah.
Would you not agree that Trump's presidency was objectively better than Joe Biden's?
I would not agree on that. What did
How
Trump
do you judge
do that you really
border
were-
crossings all-time low? No new wars. You agree with that, right? No
He
new
didn't-
wars.
He didn't pull out of Afghanistan, which he promised to do.
Hold on a second.
He
no
promised,
new wars.
He continued a war, though.
Which war?
The war in Afghanistan.
How
He
many
pulled
Americans
troops out.
died in Afghanistan
He
under
didn't
Trump?
pull out troops, though. He promised
Yes, he
to.
did. He was winding it down. No new wars under Trump.
had 4
Guys,
years.
let me talk, please. Guys.
Yeah.
But let me just. So the economy under Donald Trump. If you guys want to buy a home in your life, when Trump was president, please let me talk, man. Jeez. When Trump was president, you required $75,000 a year to be able to own a home. It now requires $120,000 a year to buy a home under Harris and Biden. $50,000 more a year. So if you guys want to buy a home, you have to make $120,000 a year now, thanks to Kamala Harris.
Guys, how much did it cost the last day of Trump's presidency, though?
$75,000
The last
a
day
year.
of his presidency?
Yes.
During the height of COVID,
Yes.
it cost $75,000
Yes.
to buy a home?
Yes.
All right.
And gas was $2.
She's a millionaire.
And so I'm getting at this outside of vibes and Trump hatred. What has this woman done to earn anybody's vote? She won't take questions from the press. She didn't get a single vote from Democrat primary voters. She was installed by some sort of Zoom conference vote. Like, who is this person? Can you tell me?
Kamala Harris, who is she?
Like, why should? Like, did she earn any votes? Like, how did she get here?
I mean, the vice president, or she was the vice president. He dropped out, and she was on the ticket. That's my best guess of why she is.
Looking at this, does that give you confidence that this person should be president?
I'm fine with her experience. I think she has a lot of experience for the office. Yeah, I don't think you can argue that she doesn't.
I mean, we already went to the border, but just like, you got to give me something, or the audience, like, make the case. Like, we're here in a battleground state, Wisconsin. Like, show me the case. I'll give you the case. Trump was president for 4 years. People were richer, world was safer, border was secure. Things were going really, really well. We respect our own. Kamala Harris, like, what's the thing? What's the sales pitch? Outside of vibes and Brat Summer, like, what is the pitch?
I mean, abortion's a big one. We're going to disagree on it, but I think it should be.
Okay, let's say you're right on abortion.
Yeah.
Okay, where is that the most important civilizational issue? While we're on like.
It's pretty important to a lot of people.
So just let me understand. So Donald Trump says leave it to the states. How would that impact Wisconsin?
So Wisconsin is this extremely gerrymandered state. Most of our statewide elected officials are Democrats, and our state legislature is almost a supermajority of Republicans. It's not reflective of what the state actually wants. And the law we're defaulting to is from 1849, I think. So it's left to the states, but we're not going to pass any new. We're going to default to 1849.
Well, isn't there a ballot referendum around it? It's on the ballot, right? Yeah, I was going to say, Wisconsin has legalized abortion. So how would Trump even interfere with your abortion plans?
I don't think I think it's by appointing pro-life judges to circuit courts and things like that. That's the main way.
Okay, so the case for Kamala is that Donald Trump might appoint circuit court judges.
He's going to appoint worse judges. That's one of the most important parts of the presidency.
So I'm just being clear.
Appointing judges like the most is like
well,
one
first
of
of
the
all, I think his judges were amazing and upheld the Constitution and the rule of law and all that. But it's remarkable to me that like the lack of the case for Kamala. Does it bother you? We can talk in a second. Does it bother you that she does not take questions from the press? I've been here for 3 hours. She will not take 5 minutes of questions. Does that bother you? For a president, not a senator, a president.
I haven't watched her on the press a lot, so
because you wouldn't be able to watch her on the press because she doesn't talk to the press.
Like she bitched.
It's fine.
If she's not talking to the press, I think she should talk to him more. It's not going to change my vote, but I think she should talk to him more.
Okay, last question. I'm sorry to keep you here.
Yeah.
Is there anything that she could do that would make you not vote for her?
Yeah, I think if she reversed a lot of her positions from the Democratic Party and moved more to the center,
like saying that she's for fracking when she was against fracking?
Or
saying that she was like against the electric vehicle mandate when she was for the electric vehicle mandate?
I'm talking about issues that I care about more than fracking.
Like
abortion? Why would you care? It's like, serious. I don't know why. This is a thing where it's amazing that abortion is so important to a lot of these Democratic men. When, in all honesty, it's only putting up to the will of the states. The people that live in New York are not the same people that live in Utah. They don't have the same beliefs. They don't have the same mindset. So leaving up the rule of law to the states is more logical than big government stepping into state businesses. It's like this is the insanity for the young generation. This is why young generation is going to fail. Is because they care more about abortion than the economy. Things that will make them money. Things that will make them a future. What would abortion do for this? Now, forgive me, but I find that he might be gay. So, I mean, it's fine that he is, but I mean, like, seriously, what would that do for him? It won't.
Like abortion and like gun control.
Okay, got it. So this is so interesting, and I'm glad we have clarity in that agreement.
Yeah.
I think preventing World War III and making sure Americans can own homes and having a robust economy not being invaded is far more important than the ability to unborn children, but we'll agree to disagree. Thank you.
That's where we end it, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, we will.
All right, yes, sir.
All right, sweet.
Make sure you talk right into the mic.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, can I raise it a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I don't know. All right, how's this?
Perfect. Great.
All right. Hello, Charlie.
Can you guys give him a little bit more space? Just
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'd like to ask you, how do you feel about replacing the Electoral College with ranked choice voting?
I'm not a fan of ranked choice voting at all. Yeah. Do you want to explain what ranked choice voting is, or?
Yeah. So okay. So like RFK, for example, he dropped out of the race. I thought he was a pretty good candidate. He had a lot of good policies, but under the two-party system that we have, he is suppressed. And I think the Electoral College has a lot of flaws territories, they can't vote. Conservatives in big blue cities, big blue states, are suppressed. They're ignored because of the winner takes all system, and the distortion of the votes. Like Wyoming is 4 times the voting power of California. I think there's a lot of flaws, and ranked choice voting would make our votes more specified.
Got it. So first, you were RFK fan. Are you voting for Trump now?
I don't want to say,
Okay.
But
I'll put you down as a probably. Yeah. Okay. Right. Put him down as a probably. Right. All right. But no, you're talking about 2 different things. The Electoral College is different than ranked choice. Ranked choice voting is a way of saying that basically the first loser ends up advancing as the candidate, right? So are you in favor of a popular vote for president, or?
I thought the ranked choice voting meant like you go to vote your favorite candidate's number 1.
Correct. Yeah.
Second. So I think that's good because people could give their overall thoughts, and people would be more researched about their.
Yeah, I mean, where we've seen ranked choice voting employed is usually by liberals and Democrats in very, very red states, and they end up basically eliminating the Republican Party. That's a little bit more nuanced, but as far as the Electoral College goes, I love the fact that Wisconsin is now one of the most important states in this election, and that Wisconsin values and Wisconsin voters are going to have to be heard by both candidates, and that it's not just a race in Los Angeles and New York City. Now, understand, yes, Wyoming has a lot of power, but so does Rhode Island and Hawaii, which are 2 blue states that are not as big, right?
Yeah.
So the beauty of the Electoral College is that it recognizes that America's system is different than Europe. It's different than most of the world. We are states first, and then we are a national project, and therefore the states need to have some form of representation in how we tabulate our votes. And the brilliance of the Electoral College is that we're going to try to turn it up, guys. I'll try to really enunciate, okay? The beauty of the Electoral College is that the swing states, think of how diverse these states are. Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. If it was a pure popular vote, which I know you're not advocating for, it would all be about Seattle, Chicago, San Francisco, LA, New York.
But the top 10 cities is around 10% of the total population. That would not be nearly enough to win the election. Even the top 50 cities wouldn't get you close enough to win the election.
Well, so yes and no. I mean, the population of the metroplex areas are more than half the American population. So you're right. Anyone from Chicago? I'm from Chicago. I'm sure we got a lot of Chicagoans here, right? So we all know the difference between Chicago and Chicagoland, right? So Chicagoland is nearly, I think, 7 or 8 million people, where Chicago's 3 million people. But I think you can agree, at least we can agree, the beauty of the Electoral College, and it does have some flaws. The beauty, though, is that it requires candidates to have to go to many different parts of the country and to earn support, not just go to the coastal cities. And the way it works in a lot of European elections, in the United Kingdom or in French elections, the United Kingdom not is a good example because they have a parliamentary system, but like France, they just run up the score in Paris and they say, forget it, to the rules. I think it's a good thing that Wisconsin farmers have a say in this election. It gives Wisconsin a seat at the table. So thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you. Oh, yes.
Okay, I just want to start with, I heard earlier in this section that you were talking about how Pfizer and Moderna push the vaccines on people. Am I correct? Okay. So I wanted to talk about how you're a big advocate for having a choice as Americans to get the vaccine, which I completely agree with. Yeah. But also at the same time, you also advocate for women not to have the freedom to choose what they do with their bodies, as well as the LGBTQ people, they shouldn't have freedom to do what they want or what they're fighting for equal rights.
Okay, so if it's not your DNA, it's not your choice. Do you agree with that?
I would partially agree. I mean, I do agree, but
so you
in this
have
situation,
sovereignty over your DNA?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so when there's another DNA inside of you, do you have sovereignty over that DNA?
It is a part of the woman that...
Well, it's also part of the man, so it's new DNA, though.
It's attached to the woman, that's what I'm saying.
It's attached, but it's not her.
Yeah, absolutely, but, if you think about it, theoretically, it's like a parasite. It's attached to your body.
A baby's a parasite?
The whole, God, I don't know why our country has been so much about that right now. Because this is a thing where I do agree, just let the states handle it. where the people of that state will decide what is the most logical or popular view of that state, because it's such a touchy topic. It really is. Pro-choice, pro-life. It's really a touchy topic. And everyone's. This is the insanity, right? I just think that with so many preventative measures to having a child, having it and then aborting it should not be one of them. It should not be one of your preventative methods. Rare cases, terrible cases, yes, but in general, it should only be the most serious of cases. There's so many other steps you can take before having a child right in your stomach. So that's why it's like, that's the thing where I just feel like we're jumping the gun and thinking about let's push more birth controls. Let's make that free. I think, make birth control free of every level, of all kinds of birth control. That should be free. Condoms should be free. Anything for sexual protection, I think that should be free.
It's a fetus. It's a lump of cells in the woman's.
We're all lumps of cells.
Yeah, absolutely,
Right,
absolutely.
so-
but
But what you're trying to do is you're using dehumanizing language. You clump of
That's
cells.
not what I'm trying to do.
Parasite,
I'm
but
sorry
you are.
about
No, it's
that.
okay.
Sorry.
Just this is typical abortion language,
Okay.
which is try to make the baby seem that it's not a baby, because the word baby gets people animated. Because if we called it a baby, all of a sudden we wouldn't abort it. But it is a baby. By every characteristic, it's a baby. So I guess the question in front of us is, with the vaccine question, you have sovereignty over your DNA.
Yeah, absolutely.
As soon as there's new DNA that is not your own deoxyribonucleic acid, you do not have sovereignty over that DNA. It is a temporary visitor in your own DNA, but it's not your DNA. It's its own human being.
Okay.
Like, I don't have sovereignty over you.
Absolutely,
You don't have
yeah.
sovereignty over me.
Yeah.
And your mom right now is not allowed to come back to campus and kill you.
Yeah, that's not the point, though.
No,
It's
but think about it, because you guys are different. So we wouldn't.
Choice of an.
But your mom doesn't remain in control of you for the rest of your
No,
life.
yeah, absolutely not.
Because you're separate DNA, and it just so happens that it's temporarily housed within, not that it is you.
Okay.
So no one's contesting that women do not have autonomy over their own being. The point is, what about the being that also has autonomy that you are forsaking in the woman? Because that baby has rights too.
Well, you can't ask the fetus the question, right? It should come down to the woman that's carrying
I
the
can't
child,
ask my
right?
6-month-old the question. Does
Absolutely
understand?
not, yeah.
So just being able to reason with a being does not mean that the being doesn't have rights.
But
Correct?
what about when it comes to the safety of the mother that's carrying the child?
So in what circumstance? So you're saying, so if the mom's life is at risk, is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
absolutely.
Incredibly rare, unusual.
Yeah,
Try to
I agree
perform a
with that.
cesarean section. So abortion is not medically necessary in 99.9% of those cases. A cesarean
I
section is
didn't know that. That's what some of these things are. These talking points, these conversations, it's enlightening to me. That's why I like to listen to it sometimes, because I didn't know that. So the abortion is not necessarily, a must. But this is the thing. Here's the thing where, with my mindset when it comes to the whole pro-life, pro-choice thing, is that maybe I'm a nihilist, right? Because we have so many people, so many kids that are suffering. And I'm thinking, our society is not really helping as many kids as they could have. So I don't know. I just, I think it should be a whole package, right? If you want to make pro-life such an issue, we should have so many rules and regulations that help a kid throughout its life.
where they'll cut you right below the belly button, and they'll try to deliver the baby via cesarean. It's better to do that to give the baby a chance to live than try to euthanize the baby and break its neck and spine and put poison in its brain, right? So cesarean section is a much better option.
Okay.
So there are options available other than abortion, but the abortion lobby would never tell you that.
Yeah, But what about like the common cases of rape and incest?
Yeah, so that's
you know
not
what
as
I'm saying?
common. It's less than 1%. But I will defend it. So
Yeah.
it's less than 1% of all abortions.
Okay,
so
I
let's
do
just say
agree with that. That's
hypothetically,
not- yeah.
somebody in this audience is conceived in rape. Who is it?
I can't point
Exactly.
that out.
Because
I mean,
babies
because I don't-
conceived in rape get the same human rights as babies conceived in a loving relationship. So your human rights don't disappear just based on how you were conceived.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And secondly, doing an evil after an evil is never correct.
No, yeah.
And of course I have sympathy for rape victims. It's not diminishing it, but saying that all of a sudden we're now going to murder an unborn baby because you got horrendously raped, morally, that sort of formula never applies to anything else in life.
Okay, but I guess more of what I'm getting at, and I'm sure you covered it, but it's the purpose of having a choice in this free country that should be
No, of course,
available
you have
to
a choice for you, but not choice for others. And that's the point with abortion, is that there's another being involved. So when it comes to the vaccine, you cannot be forced to do something against your sovereign being that you don't want. But as soon as another DNA is introduced, as soon as another being is there, that...
I will say this, right? I've heard a lot of this argument and this lot of viewpoints. I agree with it. I do. But how I take a stance is I'm very for accountability. You know, this woman had a child or is pregnant. She doesn't want it. She wants to abort. Accept the consequences then. If you don't want it, fine. It is your consequences to bear. But I am in for that. If you can, I'm in equality across the board. If you say you do not want this child, if you have the right of freedom of choice to say that you either want or don't want this child, then the man also has an equal right to say that he want to support or don't support the child. 100%. This is where I kind of fall with being pro-choice. If you pro-choice, it should be pro-choice in every area. Don't pick and choose. If a woman can have the ability to decide if she wants to be pro-choice or pro-life, a man has the right to decide if he wants to be pro-child support or not child support or no child support. Plain and simple. That's how I view it. Yeah. I mean, I seen the other clip already, so I think tonight was okay. I mean, I know it's not my regular kind of video, so I know it wasn't a lot of people who are interested. It's cool, I understand. I wanted to try something different. I wanted to watch something different because I don't want to make it seem like I'm always, it's always women, this, women that. So I wanted to try something different. So, I mean, if you guys like it, I understand. If you guys do, that'd be awesome, but it's all good. So I think that'll be it for tonight. Thank you guys for watching anyway. If you guys like it, cool. If you guys don't, understandable. We'll check something out next time. We'll go back to regular scheduled viewing some other time. So these are just videos that I wanted to watch. So I figured let's have a watch along, but if you guys don't like it, you guys don't like it. I understand. But anyway, I think that's it for tonight. I hope you guys have a good night.